Hello friends and hello student. My name is Ashok Srijala. In this session, we'll learn the remove the duplicate element in one-dimensional array in C language. So first, I share my laptop screen and fix the position here so you can watch better my video lecture. And here C++, I double click and take some time process. And now yes is open Alter F file menu and taking new file and write a program to enter one dimensional array and remove the duplicate duplicate or duplicate elements. Okay, so we can first enter 1D array and remove the duplicate element and then print. So that is, you have to know what is duplicate means same element. So let us start how it's a possibility. So our header file, standard input output, and then our console input output. And first we can take scan and print with index. So here we can take as a x like 10. I initially give the size and then I and then number of elements. So yes, that number can sufficient, but after that we can some take other variable. So here first we can take array size. So enter 1D array size. So maximum we can provide the 10. So yes, percentage D and then ampersand N. And then one message with first initially enter 1D array elements. So we can scan in for loop because one for loop is required for 1D array. So yes, with index and with scan with index and print with index. So first we can scan with index. So that is a x and percentage e, and then we can print our I variable index and scan. So scan this percentage d and then ampersand x of I. So that I copy and paste to our print part. So scan and print with index. So that is our first goal in one dimensional array. Every by definition I first take scan input and output. So not enter but elements are, and here not provided but here is required because in scanf function, and here we can remove the scanf function and print. So yes, I remove the scanf and that index percentage d, and here we can provide the slash n and remove this brace. Okay, so scanning and printing is done. So every definition in my logic, first we can input, then process, and then you can take your output. So input and output, so divide and conquer in three parts. So input output first we can then, and logic we have to some paperwork done, then we can easily identify. So yes, let us take, I save first file and that 1D and remove REMOVE, but that maximum 8 character. So that is 1D array save. And then compile, yes, there is no any error. And let us take, so I give only 5. Okay, so that's scanning and printing perfectly. And now we can start our logic. So yes, you have to know very well some duplicate elements. So we can store some other, or so that is array that taking the duplicate element. So we can remove means that Rx. So that is same size, and that index is a different. So we can take J and then counter variable of also that different, that K, and one flag variable. So flag variable, yes. So that number of time so many variable we can take maximum 4 5 6 7 variable here we have to take. So two array is required, that is a duplicate element that in the we cannot store duplicate and take some logic, and that index is for this x and that index for j, and then counter variable k for this remove x means duplicate value, and n size of this 1D array, and flag variable. So flag logic we go to apply. So yes, here our input and output, in between we can take some logic, but here we can directly take in this for loop, we can take store to or remove directly in that same. You can also take other for loop here, but here we can start to inner this for loop scanning, and that also we can store. So flag initially I assign to here 1. Yes, that now logic is start, and then our next for loop, and that is j. So j initialize 0, j less than k, but k, yes, here we cannot assign any value, so I k initializes a 1. No, 0. Yes, index start with 0, so 1 is not, but 0. And you can also assign to here also ki or k initialize 0. So, but here we can declaration time, and then we can take j plus plus. So what to do in that for loop? So we can take one if condition. If our x of I and equal to rx of j, yes, rx remove means that is removable x element, and both are same. So here we can take as a flag initialized to 0, and then break this loop. So inner loop is a break. So yes, yes, perfectly. So that is our logic. And if flag is 1, so here one if condition other take. If flag already 1, so initially we can provide 1, so we can store to our that also taking some press, because we can store and start to our index. So yes, that is a we can rx of here we can take as a yes, here we can also yes, that is I itself, yes, and that here we can store because I is 0, and that our x of I is also 0, so we can store. So yes, and then if here we can take yes k variable. So k we have to plus plus, so k is plus plus because that taking the index of yes our element. So yes, and then we can k also use here, we cannot take as a I, so k is plus plus, so k is initially 0, and that our index, and that here we can use j and less than k, so that number of elements store in that. So that is a remove the duplicate automatically. How it's possible? So look, that logic is we have to develop simple. So and now here we can what the print. So first we can change all message. Yes, here enter 1D array element with duplicate element. Yes, so enter element with some duplicate element. So duplicates, yes. Enter 1D array element with duplicate elements, or we can say that directly here enter 1D array element with no 2 time we cannot use element word. So duplicate elements, yes. So here we can give the message, and here we can after yes here we can change the message after remove the duplicate. Okay, so remove the duplicate uh, elements from 1D array, and that message we can not require. Yes, so after remove the duplicate element from 1D array, yes, so that is here. So here we can slash n, and then here we can change. Yes, so here is a j, and then J, and here is a K, yes, and then J. And here also change the here loop is a J, and here that is a J. Yes, all are well. So now let us check. Yes, so first we can scan and run, then we can understand what I can do. So that is very simple logic I develop for you. So yes, any change is required. Let us one time trace if any. So here all are well. That is a copy. Means if equal, so that flag initialize one and then loop is break. So that not store. If duplicate is there, so flag is a 0. But here if one, then and then that our Rx means that remove X duplicate element is stored. That is our goal. So I just summarize some, but after that I give tell what logic. So I give the 7 element, and yes, enter one the array element with duplicate elements, some duplicate elements. So we can provide like 10, 20, 30, and again 10, then 40, then 50. Okay, 20 here I give, and then 50. So 2 is duplicate, 10 and 20, 2 time repeat. And now let us take, yes, so all we can remove, but 10 is repeat. Yes, so what is a here is a over. Yes, here is a we can change. Yes, not x of but r. Yes, here printing that remaining that rx, not x. So there are two arrays. So let us take I run again. So that is change is required. So now again I run. So give the same. So I 10 repeat, and then 40 and 20 repeat, and then 50. So now look, yes, that is our removable. Yes, so all are removed. 10 is only one time, 20 is one time. So 2 time 10 and 2 time 20. So only one time that print, and means duplicate element is removed to our X or Rx. So first we can print only X, but X is also taking duplicate value. So we can print the Rx, remove the X mean duplicate. So Rx I can give the name. So yes, here that already slash n. So all are well. So let us understand what is happening in this array. And you can also take the dynamic array, yes, here. So first we can trace to our logic. So what happening in this duplication removable element. So first we can start to here our tracing, because that is a here possibility we can start to here our itself. So yes, I control F8, and then we can alter W and take the watch window, and alter W and that take output window, and that we can some size decrease, and here we can take some number of element. So here, yes, okay, now so x of I is our first, and then Rx of j, that is our second. Then we can take like k, yes, initial 0, then n, then I, yes, and then j. So all are well. So flag is I think also let's take, we can take flag. All are we can take. So 6, 7, there is our variable. So I press Control F8, first I run. So that is only taking the size. So 7 I give the size. So that is a start. I press F7. So that is scanning, and I give the 10. So flag is initially 1. Just look here, flag is 1. So that is a k is a initially 0. So look here in our watch window. So j is also 0. So first time that for loop is not means condition is false. So directly flag is 1. So that store rx, yes, and that k initially 0 and I is 0. So that store first 10 and k plus plus. So k is now 1. And then again scan our second element 10. So I press 7. So flag is 1. So now this condition is true. And j initialize 0. Yes. And then our match. Yes, here x of I. So that is a I plus plus already. But here that match to 20 and 10 that not equal to. So directly flag is 1. So that store 20 into our Rx and that X of and K already we can plus plus. So K is one index store to 20 and then plus plus. So again that 30i. So not now that not any duplicate. So flag is one and again that J is 0, K less than I. So here compare the X of is a 30 and J is 0. So 10 that not equal to. So yes then uh, J plus plus. So again 20 and 30 match all that repeat our previously all element check and that 30 now that flag not 0 so flag is 1 so 30 is 4 so only two element match and condition is false and K plus plus so K is 3 and now I can give the duplicate element and that is a 10. So now let us check how is ring. So flag is initially 1. So now that go in that condition, but here that start to our first 10. So 10 is already there. So here look how it's possibility. So here at first we can give the x of yes that is 10 and that is condition is true if yes look here one duplicate element is there. So if condition is directly true. So because here two index I and j every time inner loop start with 0 so all previously element compared to existing new element so yes flag is 0 and break so loop is break and directly here that not store duplicate element so because 10 is repetition already there in the our rx so flag is 1 so flag is 0 but here condition is 1 so condition is false that not store so k is not plus plus so yes that is our logic so very simple. And now let us take here I give the 40. So that is a store. Yes. So here again that 0. So 10 and 40. Yes, not equal to. So then 20 and 40 match. Yes, that 30 and 40. Yes, that now condition is false because K is 3 and J is 2. Yes, one time is a plus plus, but that condition is now false. So flag is a 1, so that store, yes, 40 is store and K plus plus, so K is 4. And now here again I give the duplicate 20. So that is not store. How it possible? Let us check. So flag is 1, yes, condition. So here 10 and 20 not match condition, but J plus plus. So yes, 20 and 20 here condition if condition is true. So that already in the Rx. So already we can previously store. So flag is 0. So that inner loop is back. And here that not store duplicate value. Flag is 0. So 1 is then that stored. So that is our simple logic. And yes, again, now I give the 50. So that is a not duplicate value. So here that flag is a 1. So that let us check, yes, not condition true, yes, 20, not check, yes, not if match false, and 40, yes, not touch. Now condition false and flag is 1, so that store K plus plus, and now all our removable, so all are one by one print. You look, so all 10 and 20, that is very simple after remove the duplicate element from 1D array element. Okay, we can say that also 1D array. So yes, very simple, and that is our goal we can fulfill. So yes, now I remove this red line, go that place and control F8. So now I can, yes, so all are well. You can also take the dynamic array. Yes, here possibility, but that is malloc and free function we can use. But here there are no require. You can also use dynamic array. But that is a our logic is very important here. That is in same for loop we can take that logic. So yes, I close this file because we can yes write this program to your C notebooks if you prepare very simple and interesting. And after you can also dynamic array here you can take also, but there is no require here static array. You can also use malloc and calloc function in the same. So yes, I close this file, Alt F3 function key. Yes, and watch output and quit. So subscribe my channel Ashok Sijalekani. Press the bell icon to never miss any update. Thanks for your watching, supporting, and sharing my video lecture. And Hare Krishna.